June 29, 2016. The big trades that we were waiting for at the draft have just been consummated over the last 10 hours. As we get ready for free agent frenzy, it looks like some of the biggest names in the National Hockey League are off the board. I got some recent news just off some spectatorhockey.com that we just got news that Steven Stamkos has re-signed with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I thought it was going to be a sign and trade. I was watching some Sportsnet this morning, Roger Sportsnet, with Chris off Roger Sportsnet. And he said there was a chance that Stamkos would be sign and trade. But it's looking to me, the latest information I just got right now, that Stamkos has signed an 8-year deal to stay with Tampa Bay. He took less money, $68 million, $8.5 million per season, to stay with the Tampa Bay Lightning, have a chance to win a championship for the next few years. So I think this is a huge deal. You know, when you talk about a player like Steven Stamkos, you're talking about a player that has the ability to make his teammates better. He has a great wrist shot, a great slap shot. He's not great defensively, but when it comes to one of the top point getters in National Hockey League in the 2016-2015 season, Stamkos is still up there. Even though he's had some injury problems over the last few years, Steven still is one of the game's top point producers. When you go back to guys like Steve Yzerman when he played and Brett Hall, that's the comparison I've always gave Stamkos. He does remind me of the Golden Brett. You know, he didn't score the goals like Golden Brett scored back in his day. But, you know, Stamkos is a center, and he can play right wing. And I felt he would have been a better fit for the Islanders or even the Toronto Maple Leafs because they could have really used Stamkos and make sure they become a contender in a few years here. But, you know, that's what happens. Sometimes you have to re-sign with the team you played your entire career with, and he wants to win a Stanley Cup. And I think Tampa Bay are not too far away. I hope they don't trade off Bishop because if they trade Bishop, they don't have a chance in hell to ever win a Stanley Cup. Vasilevsky is not good. He's terrible. He's not the best goalie. They can never trade Ben Bishop. Without Ben Bishop, they don't have a chance to win a Stanley Cup ever. So you already seen what I'm telling you. Okay, and the latest breaking news. There it is. There it is. PK Subban, the big name that Vancouver Canucks was trying to acquire, the Edmonton Oilers was trying to acquire. It looks like PK Subban is heading to Nashville for one of the greatest Nashville players in the history of the franchise, Shea Weber. The leader, the franchise, Shea has been there his entire career, and now he's heading to Montreal for PK Subban, who began his career with the Montreal Canadiens, a superstar. They're making about the same amount of money, $9 million. I think, no, Weber's making $10 million, and PK's making $9 million. So it's a huge deal. Nashville, I'm shocked this deal happened. I thought Vancouver or even Edmonton would have got him. Vancouver, I think we're going to do a deal for PK, but then came down the tampering thing, and I felt that kind of scared off Vancouver. They were going to get PK Subban, I can tell you that. And either was Edmonton. But Edmonton took a U-turn, and guess what? The Edmonton Oilers and the New Jersey Devils managed to complicate a deal of Taylor Hall for Adam Larson. A perfect deal for the Edmonton Oilers. A defenseman. They've always needed a defenseman. It's sad they had to trade off Taylor Hall, a former number one pick of this team. Hasn't really panned out over the last few years. He had a couple good seasons. Scored 30 goals one year and 60-plus points. I think 70-point season one time. You know, but the thing about Taylor Hall, I think it's all about confidence. I think a change of scenery is kind of good for this kid. You know, he's a Western Canadian kid, you know, grew up in Alberta. But sometimes it just doesn't work out when you get to play for your hometown team, the Edmonton Oilers. You know? So, you know, sometimes you have to change it up. And, you know, as we see in the National Hockey League nowadays, players are always moving. And there was a bunch of waiver moves today. Some players that got bought out, like Mason Raymond, the likes of Eric Nystrom got bought out. And I think Chris Higgins last week got bought out by Vancouver. And it looks like Burroughs might get bought out probably today or tomorrow, probably tomorrow. But, you know, it's huge. I mean, 3 huge stories in the National Hockey League. It's amazing, folks. You know, I love rumors. I love deals. And it's just too bad all these great players are off the market. So, if you're a defenseman called by the name of, what's that name? Dan Hamhuis, you're going to get paid, boy. You're going to get paid big time. Milan Lucic, now that Stamkos is off the market, you're going to get paid too. So it's going to get interesting. I mean, especially for these defensemen, especially for some of these forwards, and even the goaltenders that are available via free agency. So it's going to be an interesting July the 1st, Canada Day, free agent frenzy from the NBA to the NHL. Man, the NHL, it's getting good. The Stanley Cup was good. I got to tip my hat to the Pittsburgh Penguins, their 4th cup in team history. Mario Lemieux, still working magic. Sidney Crosby, bought into defense. And guess what he gets? A Conn Smythe and another Stanley Cup to his record and great career. And congratulations to the Big E, Eric Lindros, getting to the Hall of Fame. To the late Pat Quinn, got to tip your hat. He's in the Hall of Fame. Rogie Vachon in the Hall of Fame. Sergei Makarov, I remember the year he won the Rookie of the Year. He scored, 40-plus goals. I mean, there's not many rookies that score 40-plus goals in a season. Well, there's 2 others. There was Timo Solani, another great rookie, and, of course, Alexander McGillney, when they both scored 72 goals in a season. It's still amazing. I don't think Patrick Laine or Austin Matthews are going to even think close to that. Maybe 20 goals, but those days are over. The days when they could actually see the net and score piles of goals. It's something you can't put your finger on. So, folks, thanks for watching. It's pretty huge to see 2 blockbuster deals happen on a Wednesday. It's a rarity, but with PK Subban, his no trade clause was going to kick in on the 1st of July. So Montreal knew they had to probably move him, and they got one of the game's top defensemen in Shea Weber. I think Weber's kind of shocked by this deal, but at the end of the day, it's time for a change of scenery. Even though Nashville has they've made leaps and bounds. They've gotten so far. He's totally turned that franchise around. He has been helpful over the last 4 years, but Shea has really put Nashville on the map. They've become a hockey city, no doubt about it. Not just basketball, not just country music. Now they're talking hockey. Now they got PK Subban. He's going to be really roping them up now. It's going to be interesting. For Taylor Hall, I think it's going to be a good fit for him in New Jersey. A team that has lots of history, winning cups, playing defense. You don't have the media attention like you had in Edmonton. For Adam Larson, it's a good change of scenery for this young kid. There'll be a lot of pressure on him. He's going to have to deliver. There'll be a lot of pressure on him starting next season. Thanks for watching, folks. Our NHL Trade Rumors, the one